All right, welcome back, shoppers. This project is Photoshop 4, which is the Masked Invitational project. In this project, you're going to learn how to layer folders, or how to use layer folders, how to use text layers to create stroke effects for our information about the invitational. You're going to learn how to mask selections, you're going to learn how to touch up those masks, and you're going to learn a little bit about the filter gallery. Let's take a look at what our project is here so we can get into that. The invitational project, you're going to create an invitation to a special event using at least 5 different labeled layers that have linked layer masks. One of the layers should also have a layer filter applied to it. So ultimately, you're going to create a poster for some type of event that you want to invite people to. And you're going to need the 5 W's on this project. You're going to have to tell them where it's going to be. So the 5 W's are who, what, where, when, and why. So you're going to say who is invited. You could say everyone is invited. What do you want them to bring? So you would have them bring, in this case for a video game party, you're going to have any games that you want them to play. That's what you'll bring. You want to say where it's going to be, when it is going to be, that is the time or the date, or both. And lastly, why are they showing up? What kind of event is it? In this case, it's a video game party. So you want those 5 things answered: who, what, when, where, and why. And we're going to have 5 layers that basically layer on top of themselves to give some kind of an image. If we look at Photoshop here for this particular image, you'll notice that over here on the bottom right, there are all the different layers that are listed. We have a background layer, and then every other layer, you'll notice that each one of them has a name. They're all named, labeled, and they all have this linked layer mask to them, and we're going to talk about how to use those. Lastly, on top, you're going to have your different text layers here on top. And what we're going to learn how to do is you're going to learn how to use folders to be able to put layers and group them together. So if I have these both of these layers in this group, I can call this my text layers. And I'll put another layer in here, and this is going to be my graphics. And I could just put all of my graphics into one spot here in the graphics folder. And I can put all of my graphics below my text at once here. So you can keep everything organized using the layer panel. All right, let's talk about how we're going to do this. Let's first create our new document. If you're going to be creating a document that you want to print out, we can basically go up to File and New in Photoshop. And we're going to create a letter size document. So you can go into the photo section, or I'm sorry, the print section, and select the letter document. What am I going to call it? I'm going to call it PS04. This is an invitation. So I'm going to press create. I have my invitation here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my folders. So that's down here. I know that I'm going to have a text layer, and I know I'm going to have some graphics. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to click on my folder icon right here, and it makes a layer group. I'm going to make one called text, and I'm going to make another one that is called graphics. Now any kind of graphics that I want, I'm going to put inside of this folder right here. And I'm going to make sure that all the graphics are below the text, so the text sits on top of everything else. All right, so we've got that going. Now it's time to add a picture in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and look for a picture that I want to add to this process. Before they do that, though, I'm going to go ahead and put my text layers in there. So let's start with that. To do that, all I have to do is use the text tool, which is this T over here on the left. I just click on the text. And then after I do that, I can choose what font I want my text to be up here. So I'm going to choose just a basic font here. And then I get to choose what color I want my font to be right here. So I'm going to click on that. And I think I'm going to go with a gray. There we go. So I'm going to just type a layer in here. And you'll notice that because I had my text layer selected down here, my text group, it's going to put it inside of that text group. So what I'm going to put here, this is going to be Chess Club. Chess Club meeting. Actually, I'll just put Chess Club. There we go. And now that I have the information that I want, I'm just going to press the check mark up here, or you can press the number pad enter, or you could double click or choose a different tool here. I'm just going to select it. I'm going to use my move tool, move it in the place that I want. I'll probably make it a little bit bigger here. There we go. That's pretty good. All right. And then I want to put down the things. the information that people are going to need. So if I put down another text layer, I'm going to put when, or who, what, when, where. And the why is already answered. It's a chess club meeting, so that's why people would show up. But who's going to show up? Anybody who wants to see chess games played. What to bring? Bring. Well, for this one, you just have to bring yourself. I'll put bring your friends. There we go. When is it going to be? Well, this next meeting is going to be next week. So we'll say, let's see what day that'll be here. We'll say the 24th. September 24th. There we go. And where is it going to be held? It's going to be in B206 during lunch. Actually, I'll put the during lunch over here on the when. B206. All right, so I have all my information. Doesn't quite fit, so I'll resize it just a little bit so that way all my information does fit. There we go. That's pretty good right there. All right, so now I have my information at least. Now I just need to put in the background, stuff that we're going to put. So all my text layers are here in my text area. As long as I keep them up on top, then I won't have to really change anything there. So that's great. I'm going to hide all the stuff that's in the folder. If you click next on the little arrow right next to the folder, you can hide stuff that's in them. So sometimes it's just a good way to keep organized. I have all my text layers in here, and I can put all my graphics in here. First, I need to have a background graphic. So I'm going to go online and try to find something that works. I think I'll look for a chessboard. All right, so if I look for a chessboard, go on my images, see if I can find something that looks cool. I kind of like this one right here. That's cool. All right, so I'm just going to right-click on the image, go to Copy Image. I'll go into Photoshop, press Control-V to paste it in there. Now, if you want to move it, you can use the Move tool up here. And if you use the Show Transforms controls, then you can basically resize it. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger here. There we go. That looks good right there. I'm going to move my text graphic up a little bit. I'm going to grab the who's, all this information, bring it down. I'm going to bring my chess club stuff and bring that up. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, now let's talk about masking, because this project really is all about masking. Let's talk about how we can mask graphics. So what is a mask exactly? Well, let's check this out. This board right now looks pretty good. I'm not really going to mask this board. What I want to do is I want to grab another picture and put it on top. So I'm going to find a chess piece here. I'll say a king. Now, if I find a picture of a king chess piece here, it might be that the background is all one color. Like in this case, I have all a white background. What you might want to do is you might want to take the image that you have off of that background. Let me find another image that might look better here. Oh, this one will actually do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click the image, go to Copy Image, go back into Photoshop and paste it. However, you'll notice that when I resize this, that it has all this this background stuff going on, this white area in the background that's covering over the piece that I want. I want it to just sit on top of the chessboard without all this white space. So what we're going to learn today is how we can take that white space out. There's a few different ways to do it, but it's all going to be non-destructive. Now, what I could do is I could use the eraser tool and just erase parts of the layer. Like if I go in and I just use the eraser tool, I can erase parts of this. However, this is known as destructive editing because once I erase something, if I go too far, I can't really go back, especially if I save it. If I press Control-Z, I can go back, but if I save this and I come back to this project again, there's really nothing that I can do to fix that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use a mask, and a mask will allow us, if we go too far, to go back and put the pieces back together again, which is what non-destructive editing is all about. It's about being able to erase something, but not really erase it, just make it to where it is hidden for a short period of time. So there's a few ways you can do this. First, you can, well, all of them have to do with selecting. So if you select an area, like right now I'm using the elliptical marquee tool up here. If I just select an area, like a circle right here, if I select an area here and I click on this little button down here in the layers section that says add layer mask, if I select that and I click that, you're going to see that what it does is it hides everything outside of that selection. And you'll notice also that over here, where it shows that graphic here, it creates a little side thing right here next to the layer, and it looks like a black and a white drawing, basically. And this is your actual layer, or the content of the layer, what the image looks like. And this is a linked layer mask. Now, if I move it together as a linked layer mask, you're going to see that, oh, okay, it all moves together. I have the chess piece and the mask paired together. But if you look down here, you can also unlink the mask by clicking on this little board, or this little chain link right here. And when I do that, now I have selected one or the other thing. I can choose the whole picture, or I can choose the mask. If I choose the mask and I move it around using the move tool, you'll notice it's like a spotlight, basically. It's only going to show the thing that is underneath that mask. And then if I wanted to, I could choose instead the pixel information, or the actual drawing behind it, and I can move that around, and the mask will be basically like a window that has been cut through so you can see through it. So that's how masks work. They basically show the information that is painted white on the mask. If we look here, I have a white circle on the inside, and I have black around the outside. So if I wanted to, I could select the mask down here in the layer section, and I could use a brush to paint with black or white. If I paint with white, it will actually make the pixels on that layer underneath the layer mask. It will make anything that is painted white show up. If I paint in black instead, then it's going to take away stuff. But I can, if I paint over and I accidentally go too far, I can paint it back using the white brush. So this is really the power of layer masks, is that you can go ahead and edit anything that you want to see on an image, and you can bring it back if you need to, so you don't have to worry about going too far and destroying your image. Everything is non-destructive with masks. So let's see how we can use this to take an image off of a background. Let's just say I have, let me trash this mask real quick, and I'm going to start a new mask, except I'm going to select the subject here. So to do that, right now I have, I press W, and it shows this quick selection tool. The quick selection tool is right here underneath the lasso. You could, by the way, click on the lasso, and the lasso is the L key. And I could just try to draw around an object, like right here. I'm going to try to get pretty close to what looks good of this selection. If I just draw around the selection, then now I have that selection active. And if I press the layer mask button down here on the bottom of the layer area here, if I go to that and click on it, then it will make everything disappear on that layer except for what was inside that selection. So that's what you can do with the lasso tool. You can select that way. I'm going to show you, if you use the W key, the quick selection tool, up here on the top you can see something that says select subject. So if I click on select subject, you're going to see this window pop up, which is the masking window. And there it just selected what was inside there. And if I press on the mask tool, bam, it takes everything else away. And now I can just press move, and I can move this thing around wherever I want. So great. That's an easy way to select everything that we have in here. I've got my mask here, and it's a king chess piece. So I'm going to go down here to where it says the layer names. I'm going to double click on the name of the layer. You just want the text of the name there. I'm going to call this chessboard. I'm going to call this a king. Now, in order to get full credit for this, you need to have at least 5 different layers that have layer masks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my area here, into my graphics, or into this, and I'll find another piece that I can add to this. So let me see what I can find here. I'm going to find a night. There we go. I like this one, so I'm just going to right-click, copy it, go into Photoshop, paste it, and now I'm going to use that W tool, the quick select. I'm going to click on Select Subject, and it should find the subject on the inside. Now, if it doesn't find the subject and you create a mask, there's a chance that it doesn't have everything that you want in it. If that's the case, you can simply draw, use your brush tool, and draw with the white and black colors. So if you want it to show up, you paint in white. If you don't want it to show up, you paint in black. So an easy way to do this is if you press D on the keyboard, it will automatically select the default colors, which are black and white. If I have other colors selected, like you see here, if I press D, then that will become white and black. If I want to switch between white and black to make my color white or black, I can press X, and that'll change which one I have open. So if I press, if I have white and I draw, you'll see what's behind it. If I press X and I draw, you'll make it invisible. So that's how you can add to a selection. If you don't like the way that it looks, you can go in and you can change it. So there I have my next piece. I'm just going to go in here and call it night instead. There we go, excellent. I'll find another piece here. In fact, let me find a queen piece. There we go. I kind of like this one. I'll go in there. I'll copy this image, put it back into Photoshop. I'm going to use that quick select tool. I'm going to click on select subject, and then it's going to mask it for me. If I click down here on mask, bam, there we go. I can also use the move tool to resize it afterwards if I want to. So there we go. I've got that piece in there. I'm going to rename it to queen. Now there's a good possibility that you're going to want to add something that isn't just on a white background. If you go in and you want to pick something else, let me just say I'll put Mario on here. I don't even want a chess piece. I just want Mario. Let's say I wanted Mario on there. I could grab this picture of Mario here. I'm going to copy the image, go into Photoshop and paste it. And now if I don't have a white background, when I select the subject, it might not be able to get it perfectly. Let's see. No, it looks like it still got it. So if I go to my mask, it shows just him. There we go. Perfect. I can resize him. Now, the one last thing that you need to do in this process is you need to be able to create a layer, a layer filter. So layer filter, let's say I have this Mario here. Let's say I have Mario selected, and I want to add a layer filter to him. Really, it's not too hard. You're going to go up to the top of the screen up here and go to Filter. And under Filter, you want to go into the filter gallery, which looks like this. Oops. So filter gallery. When I click on filter gallery, you're going to see that your image should pop up here. If you need to, you can click on the zoom tools, which are down here in the very bottom to be able to zoom in or zoom out of your image here. And you're going to see all these folders up here that have different labels on them. So if you click on these labels, you're going to see that you have different options over here of things that you can do with your filters. For example, the cutout filter is kind of interesting. There's a whole bunch of different types of filters: plastic wrap, painting, sponge tool. There's all kinds of fun stuff to take a look at. I'm going to grab the poster edges. I'm going to press OK, and you're going to notice that my image changes a little bit. You can have fun with all the different filters that are in Photoshop. You just need one of your images to have a filter applied to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy this and duplicate it. I'm going to duplicate the layer right here. Now if I move that, you can see moving around. What's cool is with this particular tool, with the move tool, I can go into layer, and I can flip this layer. An easy way to do this is to press Control T to show the transform controls. And then if you right click, you can flip things. So I'm going to flip this horizontally just to make it look good. And lastly, I'm going to go into my filters one more time. And I'm going to check something else. I'm going to try a different type of layer tool. Let's see what looks good here. I kind of like the water paper one. I think I'll do the graphic pen. All right, so now you can see that it looks a little bit different there with the graphic pen. I don't really like that one too much. I'll press Control Z, go back into my filter gallery, and I'll pick something else out, something that I like. Let's try glowing edges. There we go. That looks pretty cool. All right, so now that I have my image here together, I've got the main label of what's supposed to happen, and then I've got my information down here about who needs to go to the event and when it would be. So you've got all that stuff together. You'll notice that I have one folder here that has all of my graphics inside of it. All of the layers are named here. And then after that, I have my text group up here, which basically has all the information that you need. You need both of these to get full credit on this project. If you need any help, please let me know. But this should be all you need. The last thing that you're going to do, of course, is you're going to save this as a JPEG and a PSD, just like all of our other projects. Just go up to File, Save As. You'll save it as a Photoshop document, as you see here. Let's say, there we go. And then after you save it as a PSD, you'll go back up to File and Save As, and you'll save it as a JPEG. There we go. That's what you turn into Schoology for full credit. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and good luck on a great creative project.